You've seen the headline, 50 workers at Giga Texas, replaced by Tesla's robot overnight. It's a lie, but the truth is so much bigger and weirder. Stay till the end. Let's start with the claim itself, because it is absolutely everywhere right now. Tesla bot Gen 3 just replaced 50 human workers at Giga Texas, and Elon Musk says it's only the start. Here's the honest truth. That did not happen. Not one part of that sentence is real in the way it's being sold to you. And once you see how the lie was built, you'll never fully trust a headline like it again. The number 50 is real, but it got stolen from two completely unrelated stories and stitched together by AI content farms chasing your attention. Story 1. Back in 2024, Tesla put out a very public job listing. They were hiring over 50 people, not firing them, hiring them as robot trainers. These workers strap into motion capture suits and VR headsets and physically act out factory tasks so the robot can copy them. The 50 humans weren't replaced by the robot. They were hired to teach it. Story 2. Around the same time, a US think tank report praised a shipyard in South Korea. An executive there said that on their fully automated welding line, one robot replaces 50 workers. Different country, different company, different machine, bolted to the floor, not walking around. An algorithm scraped both. It saw 50. It saw Tesla. It saw robot. It saw replaced. And it fused them into a crisis that never existed. That is the entire origin of the headline you saw. And if you're wondering whether Tesla laid anyone off at all, they did. In spring 2024, official filings show the company cut over 6,000 workers across Texas and California. But fact checkers confirmed the reason: falling electric car sales, shrinking margins, a company reorganizing. Not one of those jobs was taken by a robot. So if the headline is fake, why am I spending a whole video on it? Because here's the part the clickbait got wrong, and the part it accidentally got right. The robot army at Giga Texas isn't science fiction. It is real. It's just years behind what the headline promised. And once you see what it's actually doing in there, the future it points to is honestly more unsettling than the lie. First, let's clear up Gen 3. There is no fully new, third-generation robot walking the floors. Not yet. The units actually working inside Tesla still run on the Gen 2 body from 2023. So what is Gen 3? It's the hands. And that detail matters far more than it sounds. The old robot hand had 11 points of movement. The new Gen 3 hand has 22. It's driven by 50 tiny actuators across both arms, with sensors in the fingertips that feel pressure in real time. That lets it pick up a raw egg without crushing it, or grip a thin sheet of metal without bending it. Here's the catch nobody puts in the headline. That one pair of hands costs somewhere between $30,000 and $80,000 to build, right now. The hands alone can cost more than Tesla's target price for the entire finished robot. Engineers inside the company reportedly call it extreme sport-level engineering. That is the real bottleneck. And the body is only half of it. The harder half is the brain. Tesla's whole bet is that the same self-driving software that runs their cars can be moved from 4 wheels onto 2 legs. So the robot sees the world the way the cars do, through cameras, not lasers, building a 3D picture of the room from overlapping vision alone. All of that learning happens somewhere most people never hear about. At Giga Texas, Tesla is building what insiders call the Holy Triangle: a giant new AI supercomputer, a chip factory, and the robot assembly line, all sitting side by side. That supercomputer came partly online this year, drawing 250 megawatts of power across more than 100,000 graphics chips, on its way to double that. That is the machine that teaches the robots how to move. And it is very, very real. Now, the actual work. In May 2026, Tesla released a 2-minute video from Giga Texas, and it was the most real thing they have shown yet. The task? Moving Model Y battery trays. These things are big, awkward, and they weigh around 120 pounds. For a human, lifting them all shift long quietly wrecks your lower back. So the robot was a genuinely smart pick for this specific job. Using cameras only, no lasers, the robot spotted the tray, gripped it with just enough force not to crack it, turned, and loaded it onto a self-driving cart, completely on its own. But be honest about what that is. It's one task, in one spot. And insiders admit the robot does it at less than half the speed of a human. The dense little motors in its forearms overheat and need to cool down. and its battery runs dry in about 2 hours. This is a pilot, a learning exercise. It is not a workforce. And here's the honesty most videos skip entirely. A lot of those jaw-dropping Optimus clips you've seen, the robots serving drinks, playing games at that big launch event, those weren't fully autonomous. Tesla later confirmed humans were remote controlling them from backstage. The robot is learning fast, but it is nowhere near running a factory by itself. On their own earnings call this year, Tesla's leadership flatly admitted the robots aren't doing useful work yet. Right now, they are there to collect data, full stop. And the program has been hit hard. Tesla wanted to build 5,000 robots by the end of 2025. They badly missed it. 2 reasons stand out, and both are real. First, in early 2025, China restricted exports of the rare earth magnets that power the robot's high-torque motors. Suddenly, the most critical part in the machine was caught in a trade fight, and Tesla had to scramble for licenses and new suppliers. Second, the engineer who'd led the Optimus program for years stepped down, and Tesla handed the job to the head of its self-driving software team. That swap told you everything. The hardware was no longer the main problem. The intelligence was. Tesla was so committed, it reportedly shut down its own Model S and Model X production lines this year to clear factory floor space for the robots. That's how serious this is, and how far it still has to go. So where does "it's only the start" actually come from? That part is completely real, because the long-term vision from the top is enormous. At Davos in January 2026, Elon Musk said, and I'm quoting, "I think everyone on Earth is going to have one and want one." He's predicted up to 10 billion of these robots in circulation by 2040. More robots than there are people. Not just in factories, in homes, caring for the elderly. But even Musk is blunt about how brutal the road is. On the spring earnings call, asked how fast production would ramp, he said it will move as fast as the, quote, least lucky, slowest, dumbest part in the entire 10,000. Because each robot has over 10,000 unique parts, a whole new supply chain. He called predicting the speed, quote, literally impossible. And the price he keeps promising? $20,000 to $30,000. Cheaper than a car. The problem is, building just one prototype today costs an estimated $50,000 to $100,000. The dream price and the real cost are still a canyon apart. Which brings us to the only question that actually decides the future. Not is it cool? It's, does the math work? Because a factory owner doesn't buy robots to be impressed. They buy them when the numbers force their hand. And those numbers are getting loud. A fully loaded American auto worker, with wages, insurance, benefits, and overtime, costs a company somewhere between $50 and $70 an hour. That's the real number, not just the wage printed on the paycheck. Now the robot. Spread the cost of the hardware over its working life. Add electricity and maintenance. And analysts land between roughly $6 an hour on the optimistic end and $25 an hour for a leased commercial unit today. Run that math. Swap a $60 human hour for a $25 robot hour across 2 shifts, and you save around $140,000 per robot every year. Even at today's high prices, that pays the machine off in 18 to 24 months. And that number is dropping fast. That's the part the fake headline accidentally understood. The economic gravity is real, it's just early. And I don't want to skip past what that actually means for a person. Behind every one of those numbers is somebody, maybe 55 years old, who spent 20 years on a line, who knows that math is coming for them eventually. That's exactly why a fake headline about 50 replaced workers spread so fast. It isn't true today, but it pokes a fear that's completely rational about tomorrow. The honest answer isn't to panic, and it isn't to pretend nothing's happening. It's to see it clearly, early, while there's still time to plan. And here's the twist that should genuinely surprise you. While Tesla's robot is still in testing, locked inside its own buildings, its competitors are already getting paid to do real factory work for other companies. The clearest proof is a company called Figure. For 11 straight months, their robots worked real 10-hour shifts on a live BMW assembly line in South Carolina. Not a demo, real production. They handled over 90,000 sheet metal parts, helped build more than 30,000 BMW vehicles, and hit better than 99% accuracy. BMW liked it enough to go from a pilot to a real fleet. Then there's another firm, Apptronik, whose robot is now deployed inside Mercedes-Benz plants in Germany and Hungary, hauling parts to the line, certified safe to walk the same aisles as human staff. Mercedes was impressed enough to help lead a $520 million investment round. And it goes wider than that. Another company, Agility, has had its logistics robot working inside Amazon warehouses since 2024. Meanwhile, Chinese makers are slashing prices, with one capable humanoid starting around $16,000, available to buy right now, while Tesla's robot still can't be purchased by anyone outside the company at any price. Now let that land. The robot that supposedly replaced 50 workers at Giga Texas hasn't replaced a single one. Meanwhile, rivals you've probably never heard of are quietly doing the real thing, right now, on paid contracts. In the race that actually counts, Tesla isn't ahead, it's behind. So here's the real story, the one that's actually worth your time. The headline lied about today, but it was pointing straight at something true about tomorrow. The shift from machines bolted to the floor to robots that walk, see, and learn isn't coming. It has already started. And the part that should give you chills isn't the robot, it's the learning. When one of these machines finally masters a task, every other robot in the fleet can download that skill overnight through a single software update. Teach one. They all know it. Instantly. Factories are staring down a shortage of hundreds of thousands of workers this decade, while human labor gets more expensive every single year. The robots get cheaper every single year. At some point, those two lines cross. And when they do, the change won't arrive as a viral headline. It'll show up quietly, on a balance sheet. Tesla wants to build that future at a scale nobody else can match. A new factory, millions of square feet, aiming for 1 million robots a year, then 10 million. Will they hit it on time? Almost certainly not. Will it happen eventually? The economics say yes. So let's keep it honest, because that's the whole point of this channel. Did a Tesla robot replace 50 workers at Giga Texas? No, that was a machine-generated lie. Is Tesla about to flood the world with $20,000 robots this year? Also no, that's years away, maybe longer. But is there a real robot at Giga Texas right now, learning to do a human's job, 120-pound battery tray at a time? Yes. And are rival robots already clocked in at BMW and Mercedes? Also yes. The truth isn't as loud as the headline. It's slower, messier, and in the end, far more important. So I want to know what you think. When robots can genuinely do these jobs cheaper than people, and that day is coming, do we celebrate it, or do we brace for it? And would you trust a humanoid robot to work right next to you on a factory floor? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one.